Let's stop.
Bye bye.
Yeah,
I think we're good. Bye bye.
I start the episode every week. Jay, do something ridiculous.
How could you see through this plot of mine? My name is Cole. His name is Mike. His name is Jay. We like anime, and this is episode 104 of the Anime Protagonist podcast. And we have been collecting studios for the past month and a half, I think. And I think it's time that we do something with those. And we have something interesting for after the break. Yes, excellent. It will be fun, so stick around for that. But before we get into that, so we record a week before we release these episodes, right?
We do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And today is Friday, November 24th, the year of our Lord 2023. That means yesterday, as of recording, was the day formerly known as Thanksgiving Day to our American counterparts down there in the United States of America. We just wanted to maybe discuss like what we're thankful for. You know, the cliche, we're about to sit down and eat our turkey dinners.
Our delicious turkey.
And we go around, your grandpa's like, okay, now everybody tell everybody what you're thankful for. And just as awkward as it is at that table, we're going to make it just as awkward here on this podcast. So,
and then we're going to eat turkey, right?
No turkey included. Yeah.
All of the pain.
Well, then what's the
none
point
of the
then?
fun.
Yeah.
The Anime Protagonist podcast.
The turkey's the fun part of Thanksgiving.
Oh, yuck. Man, I see those videos of people deep frying turkeys and always setting stuff on fire. And I just think, like, do you not know how, like, displacement works?
No.
I think that's usually the issue. They overfill it. And then when they put this giant ass turkey in, it overflows because displacement's a thing.
You know what? I think literally mankind is not like built to understand displacement, considering that we literally had to we took us like thousands of years to literally figure it out as a thing. It took a guy sitting in a bathtub and it overflowing to figure it out.
Well, I mean, yeah, but we figured that out like
thousands of years ago. Yeah,
we did figure it out though.
Did we though? Apparently not.
Apparently not.
Yeah. I think the other thing people do is they put frozen or like still wet turkeys in there and it just like sprays too much.
Yeah.
I think
I don't deep fry my turkey. I know how to cook a good turkey.
I think the thing is, and I'm a bit cynical because of the fact that I just came from a place where people are idiots. I think people are just idiots.
Welcome to this place where your co-hosts are idiots.
Yeah. People are idiots, especially the three speaking in your ear holes right now.
That's right.
Yeah.
We got Gray Shirt Jay. We got 8 Mile himself, Mike, coming in with, and we got I don't know, some guy who just got off the golf course. Me, what a dingus.
No, you look like you got back from a day at the office, I'd say. I think is accurate.
Yeah.
I am thankful I'm not at work anymore.
Same.
I look like I'd be jazz dancing outside a local shopper's market. Anyway.
You can't dox people and tell them that I work at the shopper's market.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was directed at you.
I know. I'm doxing you, buddy.
Says the guy who said his full uncensored name a couple episodes ago.
It was censored. I made sure that I censored it.
I went back and uncensored it. I'm an agent of chaos.
It just redubbed over it.
Yeah.
Okay. What are we thankful for in actuality? What do we have?
I think you need to point at someone and tell them to go first is what you need to do.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to point at somebody.
Okay. So what Jay's thankful
I'm pointing
for.
at Jay. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess I'll start. And because we're an anime podcast, let's talk about anime things that we're thankful
I think
for.
that was the assignment. Yes.
So the first thing that I am thankful for is the fact that manga releases over here in the West, and also light novels, so I can read them instead of having to cry over the fact that translations are terrible.
Okay, this is actually, you bring up a good something I've actually been meaning to ask you about. Like, you're by far the biggest manga reader I know. How do you feel? Like, I guess you've kind of just said it a little bit, but like, I really dislike fan translations. So like, if I'm reading manga in a less than moral way,
Optimal,
yeah, because it's the only way. It's a fan translation with all like the other stuff in there. I just don't like it. Like, it just doesn't hit the same for me.
It really depends, I think. Like, some fan translations are actually like pretty good.
Yeah, they're hit and miss,
like
for
they
sure.
actually like, yeah. And you know, the really good ones are really good. And you know, it's kind of like a spot the difference between those and the official ones. But like the ones that are just like absolute garbage,
those are my favorite ones.
Sometimes will
yeah, nothing
sometimes it'll ruin a series for me.
The problem I have a lot with a lot of them is that they'll try to be a little too true to the like the script, I guess. Instead of just getting the spirit of it and then translating it, they'll translate it a little too directly, and it kind of makes it janky and kind of weird to read.
I feel like that's an ESL issue. I feel like that's somebody who doesn't speak English natively, who's just translating it word for word.
Yeah, or Google translating it or something.
Yeah, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
I don't know, like,
or like
I'm fine with them, because a lot of them, that's the only way to get the manga.
For sure. I think, like, yeah, at least in my experience, manga have a lot better translations generally than light novels. Like, I'll read like a light novel that's fan translated, and like I'll just be sitting there pointing out grammatical errors every like 2 minutes.
I think that's kind of just like, manga is a much bigger market than light novels. Like, there's a lot more people that read manga than light novels. So there's probably all the good translators are more likely to go to manga, I would think.
For sure. I think at the same time, like, translating like a couple sentences of dialogue is a lot easier than translating both dialogue, narration, and
And I guess there's like less of a, like, if you translate a novel versus like translate a chapter, A, it's longer, B, it's way more work, and then C, like, you only get to put out like one thing a month and you're working your butt off, and then versus like you put out a chapter and every week, right? I guess it works out to the same in the long run, but
kind of. I mean, it depends, because like a lot of the time manga will just like translate the chapters that release versus like releasing the whole, or translating like the whole thing or the whole volumes. Whereas like with a light novel, it depends. Like, sometimes there'll be like people will go back and translate like older novels, or like, it's kind of the Wild West when it comes to fan translating light novels.
Yeah, just in general too, games and all that. But anyway, sorry, I derailed our thankful conversation, because I've something that's always I've been meaning to talk to you about.
No, I think that's fair.
But I'm very thankful for the fact that we have dedicated companies and people that bring these things that are really interesting and great over here that we can enjoy without having to worry about those odd grammatical errors. Though I will say sometimes there are grammatical errors.
I mean, that happens with anything. Yeah. Editors are still people, and it happens. Until the AIs take over completely. I mean, hey, you're listening to this podcast right now. Maybe we are AI
we
generated.
haven't spoken to each other in months.
No, actually,
AI.
Yeah.
This whole conversation is just an AI learning our speech patterns.
Yeah, you ever wonder why we don't show our hands?
Yeah, or feet.
It's because AI can never do hands.
They're like notoriously terrible at doing hands. Hold on, I'll show my hands.
Okay. Perfectly normal human hands.
Yes. Okay. Cole, what are you?
Hold on. Here's my hand.
Ugh.
It doesn't know how to complete the fingers.
I don't like that.
Stop
Cole, tell me what you're
that.
thankful. I'm thankful Jay put his hand down.
Yeah, I'm thankful for
Do you have something, or I can go with you? Oh, okay. You gave us this assignment. I'm thankful that anime nowadays is so dang accessible, like through legal platforms. Crunchyroll, High Dive, and all that. They do a great job, and honestly, manga too. Like Shonen Jump and Viz do a great job of making things very available for people. Like back in the day, it would be to watch things, like there was just no official source. Everything was pirated, and if you wanted it, you'd have to like import it from somewhere far away. Nowadays, you'd pay your $9 a month or whatever it is for Crunchyroll, and you can away you go. You have almost every anime, and if it's not on there, it's probably on High Dive or Netflix, which you probably already had. Well, you had before, maybe not anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean,
lots of people still have Netflix though.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. What am I thankful for? Well, you know what I'm gonna say? I am thankful that we get movie releases over here in the West.
Oh yeah,
pretty quick.
Yeah,
which brings me to what I can gush about currently. I mean, Godzilla -1 is came out like in October in Japan.
Okay, really?
It's getting like its worldwide release like December 1. That's not bad. It used to be like you have to wait like a year, if that.
I think that might be like a maybe just that movie, because like I think Suzume, didn't it come out in like December last year, and then we only got it here in like April or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, the other thing too, like this is a Godzilla
I guess that's
movie.
Pretty quick. Yeah, so. Godzilla's a big property, right?
Yeah, like it's just we're in a very good place for taking in Japanese entertainment, because there's a huge market for it, and distributors are willing to pay to distribute the movies. It's great. It's a good thing.
It's honestly like anime's never really been bigger either too. It's like I actually just saw today that the NFL is partnering with One Piece to have like One Piece NFL game, but the LA Rams their next game, which will have already happened by the time you listen to this, will have like they're giving away like One Piece tote bags and like body pillows, and like they're having like One Piece themed graphics all over the stadium and stuff, and it's like, what year is it? This is crazy. Like,
well, the year is
of our Lord.
That's right, Jay.
I mean, Luffy was at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade,
his hat popped.
and his hat popped.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's like hot news. Just happened.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's like, hold on, let's dust off an old friend real quick.
Live from AniPro Studios, the news.
Luffy's hat popped.
Yep.
At the Macy's Thanksgiving Day.
Not the whole
parade.
hat. It was weirdly just the brim popped, and it kind of looked like he was wearing like a bucket hat a little bit. It was kind of a cool look, actually.
Well, I mean, those big balloons, I'm sure they have like chambers in them. Because I mean, could you imagine if like it popped and then that was like it just deflated the whole thing?
The whole thing deflated, and it was like a Luffy flag.
Just dragging Luffy's deflated corpse along behind them.
Those balloons are so big, like that would be disastrous. Yeah. I bet you there would be people who died. You know, like some little old lady got caught underneath it and they never found her body. Yeah. She's just
gum flatten, I guess.
Yes, gum flatten.
Gum catastrophe. Yeah.
That's right. What else are you guys thankful for with regards to anime? Sorry, because
that can be anything, I guess.
Well, I don't have an answer for anything anyway. So
Cole's not very grateful in general, so that makes sense.
I'm kind of a bitter person.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but you said that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of thankful that anime is kind of more accepted than it was at the time.
Yeah.
Like back in the day.
Oh, I mean, yeah, of course.
Because like, I mean, like, obviously it's a thing that we talk about all the time, but like, you know, it's nice that you can say like, oh yeah, I like anime, and people won't go like, you like anime? Ha, nerd.
I mean, they will still.
And then
say
they
that.
still do that. And give you a wedgie.
They still do that. I got a swirly at work the other day.
Actually. Yeah, me too. No, but for real though, it's cool because like you could just like talk to the average younger person nowadays. I'd say like 30 and over, there's still a stigma just because like we grew up with that kind of like fear of getting pushed into a locker and swirlies. But like, yeah, anime is a lot bigger now, and like it's only getting more and more popular every year. So this stigma is definitely dying, and anime is taking over.
Yeah, like when I was at work the other day, I was on break, and I just hear these two people come in. They're like, "Yo, did you check the Attack on Titan ending?" And they're not talking to me; they're just talking to each other. And I'm overhearing it, and they're just talking to each other about the Attack on Titan ending, and I'm thinking, yeah, I've seen the ending too.
That'd be really weird if they walked into your store and like literally before they even like looked at any merchandise, they zeroed in on one of the people who works there and said, "Have you seen the Attack on Titan ending?"
Oh no! It was two of my coworkers. So like
I thought it was a customer. I
thought it was a customer who walked in and said, "I recognize you. You're Jay Gardian."
You're Jay Gardian from the Anime Protect. If that ever happens, I will actually a little bit.
Yeah, I'll poop my pants.
That would be crazy. That would be insane. Don't do that.
I'm gonna do that.
I'm gonna do that.
I'm gonna do that.
I'm gonna definitely do that. I'm thankful that anime podcasts are more popular than they've ever been. And we're getting people walking up to us on the street and saying, "Hey, I know you. You're you live at."
It's funny because like as you were saying that, I'm like, wait a minute, and then I'm like, oh yeah, got the joke.
Joke gotten. No, I'm obviously kidding. Nobody listens to this. We have literally dozens of listeners.
Oh, there you go, bingo players. If anyone's still playing AniPro bingo,
that wasn't a shot at that wasn't a shot at it. That was just stating the truth.
That was just the ebb and flow.
It was just the ebb and flow. But now I'll say
tide.
The reason people don't listen to this is because this is an inferior and not great product. Now you can fill out your bingo cards.
And if anyone gets a bingo, let us know in our Discord by joining our Discord.
Very good. Very good.
Where can they do that, Jay?
Links will be in the description down below.
Yeah. Mike, you're obligated to say one more thing that you're thankful for.
One
you must.
more thing that
you simply must
is thankful for. Let me think. I'm thankful for. I should have really thought of things before this. That'd have been a good move.
You know what I'm thankful for?
What?
That free rent is so good.
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually all caught up.
You know what? I have thought of something that I'm thankful for. We'll go to free rent right after it. I'm thankful that we're getting like peak anime after peak anime after peak anime these days because the bar for anime has never been higher. Like the production quality of these shows that we're watching these days is like it's insane. Like when when we watched Spice and Wolf for the last episode, I kind of made me really appreciate like how wildly far
we've come.
The technology that goes into anime has come, and how they've managed to like iron out CG and make it actually like workable so that they can use it. Like I watched the last Spy Family episode, and there's like the whole ocean CG and the boat CG, but they do it in a way that it's not like terrible. Like I'm watching MF Ghost too, and all the cars are CG, and like they've fixed things, and they've made anime of such high quality these days that like almost every show you watch is at least like good.
Right. Yeah. We've come a long way. Free Ren's really good. I'm all caught up on Free Ren. Can I just say, for the record, the OP for Free Ren? Do you guys have opinions on it?
If this were last season, where the OPs were like kind of mid,
Mm.
this would probably be contender for OP of the season, just because like we were not spoiled for choice last season. This season, the OP sucks.
I don't know. I think sucks is strong for it, but I think it's certainly like not a very fitting OP for free run kind of. Like it just doesn't.
Okay.
I like the ED being a total left turn from the show, but the OP being like a wild card is kind of a strange move to me. Like it kind of takes you out of the. You want the left turn at the end to take you out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want it at the beginning to not set the mood properly.
I thought I'd be coming in with a hot take. You guys basically just summed up exactly what I'd say. Like, OP in a vacuum, pretty good.
Yeah.
OP for free run?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
It's
It
just
ain't for me, Chief.
it's kind of the wrong OP.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like it's good. It's good, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's good.
I don't know. I just wanted to kind of just mention that a little bit, I guess.
So I actually did think of something. Sorry, are we done talking about free run?
I'm done talking about free run. I'm not watching it anymore.
Okay, I thought of something else that I am thankful for.
What are you thankful for?
If you gentlemen would be okay with that. I am thankful for all the lovely people in our Discord that sent us a mailbag.
It's time for the mailbag.
He did it, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. Jay did his first drop.
Jay did his
to the
first
mailbag?
drop into the mailbag.
Whoa.
It's time for the mailbag. If you want to send us a mailbag question for this segment known as the mailbag segment, you can do so at anipro.com/mailbag, or we have a specific channel in our Discord for that. That's actually where these two came from. First one is a patron priority mailbag. Wee woo. This one comes from Super Mexi. They want to know, what is your favorite activity to do while touching grass? Now, Jay, I think you and I should maybe take a back seat on this one, because Jay and I famously known to not touch grass. Michael.
I was going to actually say that, like, I think Cole might be allergic to grass, because, like, I have tried to get Cole to touch grass sometimes. Like, do you remember the time when we came over and I think we played Weiss Schwartz and we walked to the local McDonald's and we walked through the field and Cole was like, there's grass there. Like, I can't do that. We should take the pavement option.
It's hot. It's hot. It's rough. That
was a good walk.
I thought that was a great walk. I thought it was a great. We literally went for a walk in the park.
My co-hosts took me out for a walk, like
a golden retriever,
like the animal I am.
Favorite activity to do while touching grass? Do I have to specifically be like touching grass, or is it just outside?
You have to specifically.
You have to specifically.
I have to specifically. Okay. I think. You know what is like truly a great experience?
What's
that?
A nice, like, you're at like a barbecue or something. Like you have like a little campsite. You got like a campfire going.
Okay.
You fire up the grill. You cook up some hot dogs. You kind of just like hanging out outside, eating some like things roasted over a fire. There's grass around. Yeah, I don't know. That's probably my favorite thing.
Oh, just camping?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know about you know what? I don't love the actual camping part of camping, like where you're actually in a tent and
you know what?
Doesn't do it for me.
Here we go. I've slammed my desk. Camping? Maybe camping isn't for me. You know?
Yeah, you don't like outside.
No. I like the idea of sitting outside in the fire and stuff. The last time I went camping in a tent, there was a bear outside and I was alone in the tent, and that was scary.
Yeah.
I think this is the part where I say I've never gone camping.
Add it to the list.
Yep. There it is.
But I've read the manga.
You've read the manga.
Which one's that?
I've read the manga.
Which one's that?
The camping manga.
One?
Thank you for narrowing that down. That really helps.
Yeah. I've read the manga.
No, you know what? Camping activities are good. The actual camping itself is kind of crappy. Like you're just choosing to sleep in a worse bed than your own bed. Like if you could do camping stuff as a day trip, that's great. But the drive home sucks after doing all the activities. So you kind of just compromise. You're like, I guess we'll sleep there.
We'll sleep there. You know what? Camper camping. I like camper camping. It's a good time. You get a nice bed.
Yeah.
You know, you're tired from being outside. Fresh air sometimes makes you tired.
Always. All that
Makes you
vitamin
sleepy.
D all up in D's lungs.
So then,
I guess like
go ahead.
if we're talking like we're able to sleep in like a cabin or something, like I've done that.
Okay.
Cabin camping is great. That's top tier.
Yes. No
Yeah.
complaints about
Yeah.
cabin camping.
Yes.
Yeah. I've never slept in a
The
tent.
problem
Tent
with tents,
camping,
to
I
me,
don't like.
is they don't have like the sound isolation, and
Mhm.
and you're not like
Mhm.
protected from the elements as much. So
Mhm.
I never, and also you're sleeping on like a crappy air mattress most of the time. I have
Yeah.
never had a good tent sleep.
Yeah. You wake up, you're tired.
Yeah,
It's either too hot
Yeah.
or it's too cold.
you're probably sweaty as all get out. Yeah,
Mhm. Yep. No. Okay. I'm glad that we kind of came to this same conclusion that maybe tent camping, you know,
Kind of
Yeah.
sucks.
it's kind of
So-
mid.
I said like camping activities are probably my. You know what is my favorite outdoor activity is swimming. By the way, I know there's no grass. Seaweed, does that count as touching grass?
No, it doesn't. No.
Okay.
No,
Well then,
no.
never mind. What are
No,
your guys'
no.
favorite activities for touching grass?
I like
You
golfing.
do sometimes. Oh, golf
I
is
like
good.
golfing. Golfing's fun. Appropriate attire today.
Mhm.
I'm really bad at it.
I think 98% of golfers are bad at golf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's what immediately pops into my head. I like you know, a nice day. You go out, you go whack some balls around,
Mhm.
maybe grab a couple adult beverages.
Some crispy boys. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
time. It's
yeah.
a nice time.
Grab a couple pops from the cart girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like golfing. I
Yeah.
think.
That checks out. You're literally wearing a golf shirt right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jay,
Mhm.
we're touching
Mhm.
grass. What are we doing?
Right. Yeah. I like watching anime outside.
Do you actually? Because watching anime doing anything on your phone outside is horrible.
Yeah, that's
Screens are just not built for that.
No, if I were to like be serious, I don't know. Like, I mean, everything I like doing outside, like if I were to like Mike mentioned swimming. I like swimming, but I'd rather do it in a pool than a beach.
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
That's a common take, by the way. I've heard that from a lot of people.
Yeah. I like being able
Yeah.
to see the bottom. That's my issue.
Mm.
If I can't see the
Mm.
bottom, it freaks me
I-
out for some reason.
I like to know I could touch the bottom if
Mhm.
I wanted to.
Right. I think that's if I
It's
can see the
similar.
bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like
I like knowing like what kind of critters are in the body of water I'm
Mhm. Yeah, I mean that's fair too.
That's fair.
Enjoying my time.
similar to what Jay said, like I love swimming here because we got lakes and nothing poisonous and nothing big enough to eat me.
Mhm.
But I've swam
Yeah.
in the ocean a couple times, and the ocean is truly scary. Honestly,
Yeah.
Mhm. I mean, I've almost drowned in the ocean.
Yeah.
So
So did actually, you know what? So did I when I
Yeah.
was surfing. I fell into the wave, and I was just tumbling head over heels, and the wave's way bigger than me. Like you're not in
yeah, I think I
control.
was like 6, and the waves like pulled me away from shore.
Yeah,
And yeah, it was not
No,
fun.
I-
My
yeah.
cousin had to run into the water and pull me out, literally pull
by
me
your
Yeah,
out.
shorts.
I never It's like nature giving you a
They almost came
Both
off.
of you had nature giving you each a swirly,
Mhm,
essentially.
mhm.
Yeah. you
Yeah.
each
But
got a
I was dumb
nature
enough to
swirly.
get back up and go right back at nature. So
Yeah.
Jay's
yeah,
probably
no.
smarter than me.
Mm.
Yeah.
There's a certain level where it's like, you know, you got to get up and try again, but it's like, well, if you're getting tossed around by a wave, maybe
You know what? You sit the
Yeah.
next wave out is what you do, and then you get back at it.
then you get
You
back in.
you gotta recompose yourself.
Yeah.
You stay off the horse for the next one, but then you get right back on that
Yeah.
horse.
But
But
get
Jay-
on the next horse that's even bigger and more angry.
Cole
Yeah.
did say that grass and water are different things, so that's not
Mhm.
touching grass.
They are
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
things. Grass is literally super effective against
That's
water.
It's factual.
Yes, that
Yeah,
is
it-
how.
that
I mean,
is-
we
that is
obviously have to.
Yeah.
Scientifically proven.
Yeah. So
So I do like the I do like the camping thing of like just sitting around a fire with a bunch of friends
Yes.
roasting schmellos.
I think
Oh,
that's
it's top tier.
universally.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Just having a fire outside. We got
Yeah.
a backyard, even.
Yeah, nice
Yeah.
backyard like barbecue and fire or something. Heck yeah,
Mhm.
have
Yeah,
fire
that's
fire
pretty
that
good.
up.
You know what actually is a lot of fun? I'm gonna say this right now.
Yeah.
There was this place in the city. I don't know if they still do it, but like back in the day, they used to have like a ton of people come, and like you'd set up your lawn chairs, and they had this big screen, and they just like play movies.
Yes, I think they still do that. I think they still do that. Yeah, in the summertime, obviously.
And that was of course, but like that's so much fun. Just like sitting on your lawn chair with like a friend or family member. Just watching a movie outdoors in the great outdoors.
So really, truly, Jay, watching screens.
I was going to say, Jay truly went full circle on this one. He went from watching anime to watching movies outside.
Yeah.
And I thought of one more thing that I love doing outside. And that is, we live in an area of the world known as the Canadian Shield. We're very close to the Canadian Shield, it's called. And it's a very like rocky and forested terrain. It's think of like incredibly small mountains with like lots of trees interspersed between. And there is nothing better in my mind than a good old hiking trail up a mountain, like with like rocks and trees and stuff like that. That's true. That's fun. Like you're hiking.
It's funny you bring up hiking.
Yeah.
I hate hiking.
That doesn't surprise me.
It's hot.
You know what,
There's
Cole?
bugs.
I also hate hiking.
There's bugs. Why walk when I can not walk?
But I like walking though. Walking's fun.
Just
I know
jump.
it's a stupid take, but yeah.
You know what game famously played on a lawn that doesn't get enough love, and I want to see make a huge comeback?
Farming
Lawn
Simulator.
darts.
Croquet. Remember croquet?
I've never played croquet.
I've only beat people with the mallets and thrown the balls.
I don't know. Like, I mean,
things.
it's not like an amazing game, but it's like, why don't more people play croquet? It was
because cornhole is a superior lawn game. That's why.
I mean, cornhole. What, you throw this thing back and forth into a hole?
To summarize,
is fun.
Cole's outdoor habits involve hitting balls with sticks outside.
Yeah,
on a nice manicured lawn.
Yeah.
That's
or there's a game here. This one is a niche game, so I won't be surprised if either of you haven't heard of it. It's called Belgian bowling, we call it.
Is it just lawn bowling, basically?
It's not.
Okay.
You basically play it with like these big like vulcanized rubber discs.
Vulcanized rubber disc I didn't have on my bingo card for this episode.
Think about like a giant hockey puck.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you roll it towards like a post in the ground. It's kind of like a mix between lawn bowling
and
curling, because the lawn, like the bowl, the disc is kind of concaved on one side, so you have to like curl it in towards. It's a very niche game, but it's quite fun. It's a good game. Yeah. Do you guys have anything else? Because I do have a second mailbag question here.
I do have one more that I just thought of.
Okay,
maybe when I was younger, I'd much appreciate. I appreciated this more. But I do like kind of those water activities like water balloons, or like especially when I was much younger, like slip and slide and things like that.
Yeah, I get
just
that.
drinking out of the hose.
Yeah, drinking out of the hose. Yeah.
On a hot summer day. There's something about the plastic oozing into the water. It just tastes good.
Yeah, it just tastes.
Slipping and sliding on the soapy slip and slide too.
I never did slip and slide though.
No. It's a good way to
slip and slide. Was fun.
Inevitably you end up going slightly off and then getting like wicked grass burn.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but that's just part of it.
You just wipe.
We should have a water gun fight this next summer. Let's do it.
We should have a water gun fight like this weekend.
Minus 40-degree weather, just like the stream of water turning to ice instantly.
Yeah, I'm gonna come home from Montreal and you guys have had a water gun fight in my house.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't know because the water dries.
I think I'd know.
It's all just moldy.
Yeah,
smells
super humid. Yeah.
Okay, I've got another one here. This is a super Mexi-centric patron priority mailbag episode.
He's coming for Kratos' throne of the goat of the mailbag.
Yeah, wee woo, another patron priority mailbag. Which AniPro host are you handing the aux cord to?
I can answer for all of us here. It's ourselves.
Well, I mean, okay, not yourself. Not yourself.
I see.
Yeah.
I have to go with my good friend Cole on this one, I think.
Thank you.
Because I know I literally have played in a band with you I know most of your music taste. We can unite on you like Neon at least, so there'll be some K-pop thrown in there.
Sure.
There'll be the obligatory Rush, which I'll roll my eyes, and I do like Rush. You guys just like it too much.
Oh, you can't like Rush too much.
There's a good chance there's some Carly Rae Jepsen coming up on there. Maybe some of what's the other band we like with Maddie Healy? Oh, dang
1974?
The 1975.
1975.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that was
I get
a
confused.
Prequel band. Yeah,
1974 was the year that Rush's first album came out, so I get confused.
See, this is what I'm talking about. They like Rush too much. And also, Jay, like I think you've specifically said to me before that you're not really super into music, or you weren't into music for a very long time too.
When I was a kid, I didn't like music as much. I do appreciate it a lot more now, obviously. But like when I say that, it was like from the moment I was born to like when I was 11, I didn't like music. I didn't really care
standard.
for music.
That's when your like brain develops enough to understand that you can like choose what to listen to, I think.
Yeah,
maybe. I think I might have been weird. I like Garth Brooks a lot when I was a little kid.
Oh, Garth Brooks.
I don't know. Like I just remember a lot of the time, like all the girls in my school were like, super into Hilary Duff or whatever.
Avril Lavigne when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I remember.
Canadian icon.
Yeah.
I like Nickelback though.
In low places.
Garth Brooks, Canadian icon.
Nickelback. You know what? It's my hot take, but underrated band actually now. They're not relevant anymore, but they're actually like a good band.
Criminally underrated because everybody like dunked on them for too long. I think people are coming.
I think they've come full circle now, though, because they're now they're irrelevant, so there's no longer a point to having a meme about them.
Yeah.
Got some bangers though.
Jay, why are you giving me the aux cord?
See, here's the thing. I probably wouldn't like. I wouldn't give myself the aux cord.
Okay.
Oh, that's a bold take.
And by that I mean I wouldn't give any one of us the aux cord. I'd just be like, whoever wants to play something, just kind of do whatever you want. Because like, I'm kind of a proprietor of, let's just have fun, and you know what? If you guys want to play a song, let's put it on.
Let's just have fun.
I'm down to listening to whatever
story.
Yeah. You know what, Jay?
I'm down to.
Sometimes people fiddle around too much when they get the aux. There's some people who mess around too much with the aux. You just kind of got to let her roll sometimes.
Yeah.
You
put the aux on and you're like,
I
got to find the right song. I got to impress my friends.
Yeah. No, just put something on.
No, sometimes just put on a song you like, and here's the thing. The worst thing that could happen is everyone listens to the song, goes like, next. You know, like,
and then you just skip to the next one. But
you just skip to the next one.
You know what's actually like incredible though is like some songs you think wouldn't work as like a banger can be sneaky bangers. Like I remember when I used to throw parties at my house. One of my sneaky songs I always slipped in at some point of the night was "My Heart Will Go On" by Celine Dion. Yes. And you get a bunch of people who are all rowdy, and you think that would kill the mood, but actually everybody loves that song. So you just get like a bunch of people screaming it. Same thing.
It's weird.
No, for real.
Sometimes you just like, you don't expect it because you're like, oh, well, I mean, it's not that like high intensity dance song, but like
it hits you in the heart.
It's just like, especially when it's like near the end of the party, it's kind of like that nice, like oh, this we had a good time kind of vibes.
I remember like I have a something that's just like burned into my memory of that song coming on. We were all hanging out in Mike's kitchen. Yeah,
and we were screaming at the top of our lungs.
Great times.
The other one was always Adele's "Someone Like You" is another great one to belt out.
Yeah. The Celine Dion one more.
Celine Dion's more timeless. Yeah. Cole, who
really...
you had in that aux too?
Well, Jay didn't answer.
He said no one.
I did.
Oh, no one was your answer. Oh, okay.
He chooses silence.
Yeah.
I'm going with Mike, I guess, then as well. Jay, I'm not. I don't know Jay's taste in music so much.
I feel like you're enigmatic. I don't feel like you don't even know your taste in music, kind of too.
No, I do. It's just kind of like. I don't want to be like, I don't think that any one person should be the DJ. I kind of like that idea of everyone's the DJ. Everyone gets to put on something they like.
No, in
You know?
in the perfect world, yes, I would agree with that. But only one person can plug their phone in. Otherwise, you're handing the cord over and you're getting that pop.
You gotta take requests though. You gotta take requests. And also AUXs.
Yeah.
The problem with this question is that like the AUX is dead. Like what's the last phone you had that had an AUX?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of more Bluetooth.
And it's hard to, you're not going to like,
Yeah.
oh, hey Jay, do you want to pair your phone and we can Bluetooth together? It's like,
I got one of these though for my aux.
What's
I got
that?
one of these.
You got a little dongle?
I got a little dongle.
Cole's whipping his dongle out on the podcast.
Got a little dangly dongly. There it is.
Nice.
You know, I don't own one of those. And that's like one of the few like random connectors that I probably should own, actually.
It's because like I've got all of this music equipment and I have to like plug. I still need an aux for like headphones and stuff. So
Yeah.
I had to get it.
Checks out.
I'm going with Mike. Mike and I have similar tastes in music. Mike's very good for like introducing me to stuff that I didn't know that I'd like.
I feel like I explore more than you, and then I filter out the stuff I think you guys will like. It's kind of. Yeah.
I feel like at the same time, you guys kind of like grew up in the same environment, so you got to understand the same stuff.
Perhaps, but Mike grew up in like the emo music scene. I grew up in like I don't know. I was in like bands and stuff, so like I like bluesy rock stuff.
You're very like classic rock, I would say. Yeah. I like classic rock a lot too, but I definitely lean more into the punk and emo side of things. Like actually, you know what? Like listener to the podcast, Devin from our Discord sent me a playlist that he made of like all these old emo songs. And I was like flipping through it. I'm like, yep, this is literally me when I was 14. Like this is my playlist.
These are some bangers. He pulled out his tight jeans.
Yep.
Took out that curling iron and straightened his hair.
Combed his bangs down into his eyes.
Yeah.
Good times.
You know what this whole conversation taught me?
What's that?
It taught me that you guys need to give me the aux cord so I can play like songs that I like.
Yeah. Next icon table, you're man in the Bluetooth.
Yeah.
I guess I am.
You're the guy. You're the guy.
He's the boy.
Yeah.
Okay, a few things before we go to our break. We've got reviews coming up. We've got one we've got an okay, hold on. Let me find my center here because I'm losing it. We're doing a manga. We're gonna do the greatest manga of all time, Kagurabachi. We'll be doing that soon, and we have a poll for the next anime that we watch. It could be Seraph of the End, which was Jay's suggestion. We've got Toradora, which was mine, and we've got Haruhi Suzumiya, which was Michael's. So you've got until what day did we give them till?
Like December 5th, I think, or something like that. Just after this. Vote by the time that you hear this episode. I would say vote soon.
Yeah, we're giving you a couple weeks to vote. So Am I missing anything else? We still have mustaches. That means we've got this is the last week of Movember. So if you have space in your heart, please donate to that for men's mental and physical health. Very good cause. And of course, in the description also there is a link to our affiliate Tokyo Treat, where you can get $5 off your first box with promo code AniPro.
Super
yeah, that's all that I have to say. Oh, no. What are we doing after the break? We teased it before.
Yes, Jay.
What will these studios be doing? What are they competing? Are they fighting in a big ring?
Yes, they are fighting in a big ring called Einkrad.
Oh, go on.
Because what these studios will be doing is SAO is getting a remake, and one of them gets to animate this remake, but we have to decide which one of the studios will be in charge.
We're part of this
of the Sword Art Online remake.
We're the Sword Art Online production team, and we get to choose which studio we're hiring.
Yes. And disclaimer, I know Progressive is technically a remake, but I'm talking about a remake of the original novels, not Progressive.
He didn't know that. He didn't
Just
know
so
that.
we're clear.
We told him that right before the podcast.
We told him that. We said, Jay, actually, we both pushed our glasses up, and we said, technically,
SAO Progressive is a remake.
Technically, it's time for an break. Break my heart. We'll go on. Welcome back to the Anime Protagonist Podcast. You just saw Michael playing some air guitar. Oh my. Oh my
Sick lick.
goodness.
Sick lick, bro.
Sick lick. We're back. We're gonna pit these studios that we have nominated against one another to see who will be tasked with the duty, the privilege of remaking the masterpiece that is Sword Art Online. So I think we'll kind of factor in, the artistic flavor of it, the animation abilities,
the je ne sais quoi, would you say? Yeah.
We've got some great studios on here, but maybe some of them, despite being great, might not be the best for Sword Art Online.
I think that's a valid take. I'm looking at my list. I can see one there that maybe quite doesn't fit. Well, I'm looking at your list, and I can definitely see some that would be interesting. But I look forward to hear you defend your picks.
You never know. You never know. Should we run through our picks, or should we just dive right on in?
You're the host.
Let's just dive in.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's going to hear all of these studios.
Let's just jump right into it.
I guess it is
just
Jay's
jump.
It is Jay's tournament, so I guess let's let him.
Yeah, you know what,
master.
Jay? What do you want to do?
You know what? Let's surprise them. We gotta hook these people somehow. So you know what? We got some studios. Go and listen to the older episodes, the other episodes that we put out, and listen to when we nominated them, and then you'll get what studios we have here.
Yeah, you know what? If they want to know what studios we have, they should have kept notes.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, this is your fault.
This is a good way to run a podcast. Blame our listeners.
Gaslight our listeners. Yeah. So, okay. Our first contestant here is the studio at one point known and henceforth shall be known as Mappa Studios.
Oh, we're coming out with the big guns.
Big guns. This is a Mike nomination, I do believe.
As a Mappa stan, yeah.
As a Mappa stan, so Mappa famous for doing stuff. And the second one will be Wit. Wit. Both Michael Studios.
Both Mike Studios.
Rigged. Cole's rigging it so I don't win.
So we've got all right, so Mappa versus Wit. I'm gonna be honest with you here, Mike. I think Wit would be better to do Sword Art Online.
Okay, elaborate. Maybe you pitch Wit and I'll see how that works.
Okay, I just feel like Sword Art Online deserves that cleanness, crispy. Crispy boys make Sword Art Online, and Sword Art Online is made by crispy boys, and Wit Studio is a crispy boy. Mappa, great studio, love Mappa. Sometimes they're a little gritty. And that's why Mike loves them. So, but I don't know if they're necessarily here for the Sword Art Online crispiness.
You know what, Cole? I would be inclined to agree as well. I think Mappa, while everybody loves to dunk on Mappa, but like every studio abuses their workers for the most part, except for KyoAni. Yeah. So I'm going to take that out of the equation here. Like they're all kind of the work culture in Japan is kind of not great, but especially at these studios. But I do agree that I think when I think of Sword Art Online, it's kind of a little more, I think it has like that kind of, like you said, crispiness and like production value to it. Like it's kind of cleaner. I would be interested in seeing like a gritty spin-off of SAO, but I don't know how good that would be. That just end up being Goblin Slayer or something, right? And it might not hit the same. It has to be kind of a little cheesy, a little fun, and I think Wit could do that. I'm thinking of Ranking of Kings in particular that Wit did, and I think that their style would lend it well. And like Cole, actually, that was a great take because like I'm thinking of like they kind of have like their lines are a lot bolder and like they're a lot cleaner, and they're I think it works better with Wit.
Yeah. And I mean, not to mention like Wit has kind of, they've done like the fantasy-ish designs where Mappa's done, I don't know, they kind of do more like gritty stuff, spooky shonen.
They tend to, but like they did Campfire Cooking recently too.
Oh no, I know. There's always
But-
exceptions.
but
It's just that's
not
their
their
MO.
forte. I
Yeah.
agree.
Now, one
Yeah.
thing I will point out is Wit will not do this.
No.
Wit will not. Mappa will. But
Mappa
it's not
literally
about that.
takes everything that they possibly can. Like the amount of stuff that that Mappa just like will come in and be like, yeah, we're doing it, is ridiculous.
Yeah. Part of that is because they're like the third biggest studio.
Yes, for sure. But like at the same
yes.
time, like the amount of times you'll see like an anime be announced and then like, oh, Mappa's doing it. It's like,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
amount of times you see people go like, Mappa, like that's enough. You've taken enough.
Yeah.
they,
you've
they
done
do
enough.
a lot. Like they
Yeah.
put out multiple shows a season sometimes, which is just wild.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think we're in unanimous here. Like Mappa, very good studio aside from the work stuff, but like I think that they would not be suited to doing an SAO.
Well, Jay
Yeah.
didn't really.
I didn't really go
say
in.
anything.
I do
Okay.
agree with Cole that like I think Mappa's stuff is kind of more attuned to that like grittiness, and like
Mhm.
I think that would be interesting for that like the death game angle of it at the beginning, but that
Mhm.
kind of like teeters off, especially when you get closer to like the
Yeah.
fairy dance arc and later stuff like that. So
Yeah.
like it would
maybe
probably
doing like
be
an
cool.
OVA could be cool.
Maybe a cool OVA, but like if we were like the idea is like we're doing like a remake of everything I'm gonna say the first season, so the first 25 episodes of SAO.
Okay, that's kind of what I assumed too.
Yeah, which would include fairy dance, and I don't think that Mappa would suit that same kind of vibe, like Cole said.
And don't get me wrong, I kind of don't think Wit would do the best job of both studios on this list either, but that's for later to decide.
Probably not. I do think that like the thing that both of these studios would probably do well is they'd probably get rid of like a lot of the fan service
Yes.
when adapting it,
Yeah.
and like I think for that that's a plus.
Well, hold on though, Jay. That is an integral part of SAO.
Yes and
love it or
no.
hate it. Love it or hate it. I mean,
not
the
super
waifus are important.
The waifus are important, but I don't know if like a lot of the stuff that like is integral to the story will stay as is, but like
Mhm.
random panty shots or like random boob jiggle and things like that will probably be like toned down a little
Yeah.
bit.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I assumed, Jay Matt.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
just having waifus, like
Yeah.
think about how many waifus Mappa products have. Like there's
Yeah.
just
There's at least 5.
at least 6 and 7. Yeah.
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 I mean,
Yeah. I think we all
Chainsaw Man
agree Wit
alone,
moves on.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
Chainsaw Man alone, or
Yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen, or
Wit moves on and Mappa kicks the bucket.
yeah.
Mappa finds a Mappa to some other series.
Hey, got him. They'll be okay, I think, Mike.
They'll
Don't
be
worry.
fine.
I
They'll be fine.
think they'll survive
Yeah,
this.
They'll be just fine.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
here's a contender. Here's a
Mhm.
big contender, Jay. This
Okay.
is one
Mhm.
of yours. It's called
Mhm.
Studio Bones.
No
Ain't
bones about
about it. Studio Bones will be competing against the studio known in the world as Cloverworks.
Interesting.
Interesting.
So, Cole, I think you nominated Cloverworks, right?
Yes,
He
that was one of
did.
my
Yeah.
nominations.
Yeah.
Now, Cloverworks was a last minute one added by me because I'm a big fan of Bocchi the Rock. But I mean, they've done some other stuff as well, which I know off the top of my head. I'm definitely not looking it up because I always remember this stuff. Now, Jay, I wouldn't mind if you kind of went into yours a little bit, though.
Sure.
Like, that would be
Bones-
totally fine.
So Bones has done a lot of great series, a lot of fantasy stuff too. They've done Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, great shows like that. They've done My Hero Academia, Bungo Stray Dogs. They've done the Case Study of Vanitas, which isn't as popular, but I love that show. Just a very, very solid animation studio. And I think like what Bones is really good at is like they have that really clean animation.
Yeah.
Though I would say like kind of like it does kind of border that line of Mappa, but it does stand itself out in being like just has some like really good action sakuga, which I think SAO would really benefit from.
I think Mappa, like you kind of led it into that a little bit, but I think Mappa tends to be a little more realistic, gritty, whereas Bones tends to be a little more like cartoony.
Yeah,
but still, they do have some similarities for sure.
Yeah,
The Sakuga Bones is like
crazy,
second to none.
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
Like Sakuga specifically.
Yeah, like look at stuff like Mob Psycho 100, which also is done by Bones. Like
Mob or like the Sakuga in the other one, the superhero one,
My Hero
Academia.
Yeah.
Like the Sakuga in that is just
absolutely insane. And I think like for a show like SAO where it's not necessarily the deepest story, but like some of the action could definitely be that like next level stuff if done right. I think like just imagine like Kirito versus Heathcliff with like the most insane action Sakuga, for example.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, hey, you're onto something. But I mean, let's not count out my boys over at Cloverworks out. I mean, yeah, okay, they've done Bocchi the Rock. They did a Kebi Sailor uniform, my Dress Up Darling. You know, nice shows, good animation. I mean, Bocchi the Rock has all of that experimental animation in it as well. But I mean, they've also dabbled a bit in the fantasy side of things as well. They've done Fairy Tail. They actually did Persona 5 the animation. I didn't even know about that. The big one here though, the one that I'm standing up on is Fate Grand Order Absolute Demonic Front Babylonia. I feel like that one really lends itself to being able to kind of compare to SAO, and the Sakuga in that one is pretty good as well.
Yeah.
To be honest, I mean, like, it's a Fate show. They did a good job with that too.
So I think it's time I bring this up because there's a little big elephant in the room regarding Cloverworks.
The little big elephant.
Big elephant. Cloverworks is an offshoot of A1 Pictures.
Yes.
Oh no! Are they officially an offshoot of A1 Pictures?
So yeah, basically they were.
Yeah.
Is an animation studio that was rebranded from A1 Pictures. It's a subsidiary of. So okay.
So
I mean,
what does that matter in this scenario? Are they not allowed to redo it because A1?
No, I'm not saying not. I think like
I kind of see what Jay's saying. Like, why not just include A1 in it?
Well, no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm actually making an argument for Cloverworks that like this is that probably means that it's more likely that they'd get it.
Oh, okay.
But we're the ones who decide who gets it.
We are the ones that decide. Yeah. I'm just saying like if like we were being realistic here,
this could happen. Is what you're saying.
Probably most likely it would be Cloverworks out of all of these.
Moving along as well, we've got Wonder Egg Priority, which didn't finish strong or anything like that, but it had some great animation during its fight scenes as well. I mean, Spy Family, obviously, Horimiya. Some great shows. That being said, I would be more interested in seeing a Bones production of SAO.
I'm in agreement with that. I think if I had to choose, and that's what we're doing here, I'd be more interested in seeing what Bones does with this one.
Yeah. I kind of agree.
Yeah, I just feel like it would be, like their Sakuga would be incredible. I mean, Jay kind of sold me with his last argument there, like the Heathcliff versus Kirito fight.
With like you know, their animation. Yeah.
The classic like blocks, you know, how there's explosions and everything turns into little cubes.
Yeah.
There is a name for that. I can't remember what it is. There's one director.
Yeah, it's a specific director who always does that. Yeah.
The Shoto versus Deku fight, for example, is where you're talking about. Yeah,
exactly. It'd be fire. But yeah, let's say goodbye to Cloverworks and say hello to Madhouse.
Oh, my Madhouse
Legacy Studio will be competing against another Legacy Studio, Studio Shaft. Oh, this is going to be a tough one. Yes. Mike, you're first up. So Madhouse was your baby. Are you
okay? Well,
willing to argue
a good
right now?
example here of a show from Madhouse is one we talked about already in this episode. A little show called Free Ren Beyond Journey's End is quite fitting when we're talking about remaking a show called Sword Art Online. They definitely know how to handle a beautiful show One thing that I've always noticed with Madhouse is they love someone at Madhouse understands that like lighting and landscapes are super pretty and they know how to make them look good. And they just love like an anime character in front of the sky with like cool lighting. And I think that's a lot of what SAO is, just like kind of looking cool more than anything. And I think Madhouse would do a good job with it, honestly. They've got quite a few properties and it's hard to like cycle through them. The fight scenes, you could definitely throw them into the ring for that too, with obviously Free Run has some cool fight scenes. Maybe probably the best animated fight scene of the year with what's his name fighting that dragon. Or you could always throw it back to One Punch Man. Madhouse did that first season too, right? That's some crazy animation.
Or if you're looking for fantasy, they did Overlord, and like that's kind of the same idea of a guy reincarnated into a game. The thing that I would argue is kind of like a negative for that is because they've done Overlord and because people probably would expect them to continue doing Overlord. I don't know if people would be happy with Madhouse kind of overlapping with a similar genre and idea.
Similar property.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar, yeah. It came out about the same time too. They could do something different with it too. Like they're a diverse studio. They do a lot of cool stuff. And don't forget Hunter x Hunter is another classic they did.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of cool stuff, there's no studio that does cool stuff more than my boys at Studio Shaft. I mean, obviously Monogatari. This would definitely be one of the more creative takes on SAO. I'm talking like cool shots, cool tracking shots, stuff like that. They're not necessarily known for their action per se.
Well, I think they do have some action to them.
However, I mean, we did a review of one of their better action shows, Puella Magi Madoka Magica. Of course, they've also done, I just saw it and then I lost it. This is great. This is really good. Fate Extra Last Encore. I mean, they've done a Fate show as well, which is always... Honestly,
don't forget, did you say Madoka Magica? Like, Madoka Magica has cool fights too.
Yeah, no, exactly. Very creative fights as well. I mean, they did the most recent Ruby as well, which,
if you're looking at Ruby pure animated wise, or like pure for the fights, like the fight scenes in Ruby are really well animated, really well choreographed. Or like they even did Nisekoi, so like you know that they understand like the romance genre too. Like they've worked on stuff like that.
I feel like Shaft would do a very good job of bringing SAO into a completely different like way of looking at it, you know, maybe diving into that video game aspect of things, which would be a very unique way where SAO, like vanilla SAO right now, is basically just a fantasy thing under the guise of it being about video games.
It depends on what we want to do when we're hiring our studio. Do we want to come up with something totally new and radical, or would we rather just see it redone, maybe better? Which I think you're arguing Shaft would do it differently, whereas Madhouse, I think, would do it closer to the original spirit, but maybe a little more critically acclaimed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like Shaft's not critically acclaimed.
Shaft is like artsy fartsy type stuff, right? And which I do enjoy. I just don't know if that's SAO's vibe. I don't know if that's when I'm making a sandwich that is SAO. I don't know if I'm throwing some jalapeno compote in there, you know?
At the same time, like, I don't know if Shaft would necessarily, like, if they wanted to go their own route and kind of like do their own thing with anime only stuff to kind of fit that artsy fartsy vibe, if people would be kind of down for that, especially the hardcore SAO fans.
Oh, for sure. Well, hardcore SAO fans are watching this no matter what.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, but and to argue for my thing, because I see how this is going. I see where this is going. They don't just do artsy fartsy stuff as well. Like they can also handle action.
Yeah,
I know.
For sure.
I just personally don't feel like the fit is right. Kind of like what you said with Mappa. I just don't think the fit is right.
Okay. That's a fair argument.
I
can't
think
really argue against
I
that.
think like if someone said like SAO remake by Studio Shaft, I feel like a lot of people would kind of be scratching their heads.
Twitter would explode. They'd be like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
Twitter would explode. Yeah.
But if they said Madhouse, people would be like, "Oh, cautiously optimistic."
Yeah.
I think people would be cautiously. I think cautiously optimism would be for either one of these.
Kind of universal, honestly.
Yeah.
I think with Madhouse, people would be like, "Oh, okay."
I can picture that. I know what that is.
Yeah. Shaft would be like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
You know, there's that difference.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm voting Shaft because I think that would be cool, but you guys are clearly voting Madhouse.
I'll go Madhouse, and then Jay is the tiebreaker.
I'm honestly like, Cole does bring up an interesting argument of like, it would be a very different SAO, you know? At the same time, like Madhouse does have like that wheelhouse in the bag with Overlord and things like that. I still do think that argument of not wanting an overlap, especially if people want Overlord to continue. I think that is definitely valid. But at the end of the day, if I were to look like, oh, SAO got a remake by Studio Madhouse, SAO got a remake by Studio Shaft, I think the one that would kind of intrigue me more would be Studio Shaft. Just because, like, I think that Studio Shaft would kind of be like, okay, it seems like they've got like something interesting in mind, where Madhouse, it would kind of just like, it feels like they would just kind of do what A1 Pictures has already done, just like maybe modernized.
So you're going with Shaft?
I'm gonna go with Shaft.
Okay.
Wow. Madhouse
getting shafted.
They'll be okay, Mike. Don't worry.
They'll be okay. That's going to be the theme of this episode. Is they'll be okay, Mike. They'll be okay, Mike.
They'll go do a season 2 of Card Capture Sakura Clear Card eventually.
They'll get another season of Overlord.
Okay, we got White Fox.
Okay.
And they're going up against not White Fox again. No,
that's impossible. Yeah.
That will not do. That simply will not do. They're going up against Studio Wit. Studio Wit and White Fox.
Wit, I feel we've already kind of explained what they would do. They do it a little more. They like it a little. I'd call it like bombastic, gritty, almost is how I describe their style. Like you get like the bold lines, you get the sweet Sakuga, you get the crisp animation. Everything looks like very interesting. There's a look to it. You know Wit when you see it.
Yeah.
And I think that would fit. And like I'm just picturing like the first season of Attack on Titan or like Ranking of Kings style, like that cool like fantasy look, maybe a little more in the fantastical cartoony vibe, but not full, but still kind of has that grit that you need for a serious series. I think it would work quite well.
Yeah. Jay, your rebuttal.
So White Fox, the way I look at White Fox is a studio that like really picks and chooses what kind of stuff they do. Because they don't really have that like deep of a library, but like a lot of the stuff that they do have is like either decent to really good. Like they have,
I think the only thing I know is ReZero.
They have ReZero. They have Steins Gate. They have Goblin Slayer. They have the first season of Devil's a Part-Timer. And a lot of other stuff. They have the first, or they have Ari Furita, but I kind of don't count that because it had this whole issue with its production, so I don't really care.
Anime studios get weird with like what is this studio for things, because sometimes they collaborate. Like Spy Family, for example, is like I think a collaboration between Wit and Cloverworks.
Yeah. But the thing that I think is consistent among all the shows that I listed is that they're all fantasy, or at least they all have fantasy elements, and they are good to great. To me, I would say that if I were to see an adaptation of SAO by White Fox, it would mean that like they know what they're doing, they have a plan, and they're gonna make it work, and it's gonna look at least decent to good.
Yeah. I think that their style most closely fits what SAO already is. Like when you look at their list of things they put out, it's a lot of it looks like SAO would fit in with their catalog. So that's interesting. That's definitely a point in their court for me.
I mean, like, again, with Wit, like, they can do that kind of fantastical Ancient Mage's Bride. I don't know, something about Wit really like strikes me as kind of the studio to beat here in this. Like, you bring up that like White Fox has only done like good to great shows. Like, Wit's the same.
Wit only does bangers. Yeah,
Wit essentially has only done bangers. I mean, like, yeah, late seasons of Attack on Titan, you think of like Levi flying through the streets, like that's incredible animation. Seraph of the End is not Seraph of the End. Kabanari of the Iron Fortress is a beautiful show.
Yeah,
Ancient Mage's Bride.
Don't sleep on Mage's Bride or Vinland Saga too.
Vinland Saga, Vivi Fluorite Ice Song. Yeah. I mean, they're just consistently good. If they signed on to do a remake of SAO, knowing who they are and how picky they are about the shows that they take on, I mean, they stopped doing Attack on Titan.
Yeah,
because they were just like, we're done. If they signed on to do SAO, that'd be like, whoa, okay, they're doing something big here. Where White Fox, I want them to do another season of ReZero.
I mean, they already are.
I know, but I want it now.
Yeah,
I think in this one, whereas like I was saying, Studio Shaft is a little too far outside the box. I kind of come around from Cole's little speech there to thinking that I think Wit might actually be just the right amount of out of the box while still being in like they're touching the edge of the box and doing something interesting while also still capturing the original spirit. But I kind of like looking through the roster of White Fox here. There's definitely a lot of shows here that I think they could do a good job as well.
Oh, again, yes. Like this is, but we're basically arguing semantics.
We do need to decide at some point here because yeah.
So my vote's for Wit, for what it's worth.
Yeah. I think honestly, I think that this is probably a bad matchup for White Fox because I think at this point, Wit's kind of just like the better version of what White Fox would probably do.
Yeah,
like
they're both good.
That's kind of how I feel as well. Yeah. I think White Fox definitely they just ran into the Undertaker at his peak right here.
Yeah.
From the top.
They ran into the Undertaker during his WrestleMania streak.
Yeah.
I understand what that is.
If tradition holds true, all of our buzzsaws get defeated towards the end of our tournament. So I'm looking forward to see what takes down.
Well, there is
later on.
There is one in here that I think will probably kind of run away with it, but we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see because
we'll see why Studio Trigger does.
No, okay. Anyway, yeah. So you guys didn't officially vote. Please vote. Please vote right now.
I'm voting for my Wit. Yeah.
Wit all around. Yeah. Poor White Fox. I think they do a good job, Jay.
Yeah,
it's okay. They'll be okay, Jay.
They'll be okay.
They'll survive.
They'll be fine.
They've got SAO they've got ReZero coming. It's fine.
Yeah. All right. So we got Studio Shaft here coming up again, and they will be competing against the studio. Oh no. They're up against Ufotable.
Let's go.
Oh no.
There it is.
No.
Can I just say Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, Demon Slayer, and basically anything else in their catalog.
Okay, you can't trash Demon Slayer 99% of the time and then praise Ufotable for doing Demon Slayer now.
No, he's never said anything about the animation.
I've said the animation of Demon Slayer is great. Everything else sucks.
Okay.
Demon Slayer's animation's great because it's Ufotable. Because it's Ufotable.
I mean, hey, like I can't.
Okay, let me just tell you. Let me tell you something.
Tell me.
Ufotable. Whenever a new anime gets announced, what is the studio that people clamor for and say, I want this action anime to be animated by
Ufotable.
Ufotable. Yeah.
What studio is notorious for doing the best fight animation, the best action anime? Period.
Ufotable.
I'm sorry, Cole. We do like your head tilts.
No, I mean, I can't even.
Kirito tilts his head at me. I want to see Kirito slay a gerblin with ferocious might and sweet animation.
I can't even argue against it. I'm
like,
going
Ufotable. Here's the thing. When we were talking about Bones, we were talking about that fight Sakuga and like a fight with Heathcliff. Imagine that by Studio Ufotable.
Oh my god.
Mike was talking about the box. We want them in the box and how Wit kind of, they're touching the edge of the box. This blows the box up.
There's no box left. There's no box left.
Disassembled it, and now they're reassembling it in like a different shape, but it's still like what I like this.
No, because you're right. Because like to see SAO with like, because one thing I appreciate that Ufotable does is they do a lot of like CG, and they use CG to like truly like take things beyond just animate, like 2D animation. They kind of blur the lines a lot, right? And I think that could work really well with SAO.
I think that would honestly that would probably
God.
like
Let's
for
just
SAO.
Let's stop.
Bye
Bye. Yeah,
I think we're good. Bye bye.
Okay, Ufotable moves on.
Ufotable moves on. Can we just? I forgot that they're doing the upcoming Genshin Impact anime too.
I know. I was just thinking of that too. Oh my god.
That's
exciting.
Oh, that's poor exciting. Shaft. They'll be okay though. They'll be
Cole. They'll be okay.
They'll be fine.
They'll be fine. They got stuff.
All right. Kyoto Animation will be going up against.
Is it Ufotable?
Ufotable.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, KyoAni. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, let's make an argument for KyoAni. I think it would be the most beautiful take on SAO. It would be absolutely gorgeous.
Hear me out. The SAO progressive, where they tell the story of SAO through Asuna's eyes, that'd be done by KyoAni. SAO from a female perspective done by KyoAni, that would be the prettiest thing ever. I'd be here for that. That'd be amazing.
So, Mike, you mentioned this is kind of a similar thing. You mentioned like every time an anime gets announced, but they haven't announced a studio. What studio does everybody clamor for? KyoAni. Everybody wants KyoAni to do everything. But you know what? KyoAni can't do everything. They're good at what they do. And action maybe isn't what they do a lot of.
Yeah.
That being said, I mean, they did.
Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. The
Miss
action
Kobayashi's
scenes in that
Dragon
are top
Maid
tier.
Has got some great Sakuga. Hold on. Keep going.
Violet Evergarden looks phenomenal. Like, I mean, the reason I bring up Violet Evergarden is mainly because of the fantasy adjacent vibes that it has. So like, if we're talking like pure spectacle and making Aincrad look like a dream, they'd knock that out of the park.
Yeah.
Here's the thing,
mean, another one. Oh, well, you know what? Like, Shinobu would be, I mean, that's one where I think like that art style would really lend itself well to SAO. They did Full Metal Alchemist. They did Full Metal Panic, which people always forget about. That's a mech show. I mean, like KyoAni is obviously able to do things outside of their like main thing.
I'd hate to rain on your parade, to poop on your little.
Listen, I'm grasping at straws here.
Yeah.
Would they do a better job than Ufotable?
It's tough because their action scenes would not be as like bombastic as Ufotable. But I mean, that's like if I could just watch a YouTube clip of great action scenes. You know, who's making a better overarching anime?
I think even at the same time, like Ufotable would still have that like great spectacle. Like look at the first time Unlimited Blade Works is revealed, like the actual thing inside the, like that looks gorgeous. right?
Yeah,
Like,
and I think the sound design that they generally use too, like I compare everything when I'm thinking of this, right?
mhm.
And like just the vibes of a typical KyoAni show, I just feel like they're not built for SAO.
I think they could do it.
They
That being
could
said,
do
I'm
it.
voting
not
for
arguing they
Ufotable.
can't, but
Yeah.
yes.
I think they probably could.
I mean, obviously, Ufotable is going to be the studio to beat here.
Here's
at this
the
point.
thing. Here's the thing. I think that like KyoAni, if it was facing anything else, would have probably stood a good chance.
Well, you got to remember, we all nominated some of our favorite studios,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
these are pretty much all amazing studios.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, Sound Euphonium's
We just gotta- we
it's
just
one of
gotta
my
find the
favorite.
fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite anime of all time, and
Mhm.
I mean, the sound design in that is great. Obviously, it's
Mhm.
about
But
band.
it's the fit, right? You could have
it's the fit.
you can
It's
have the best
fit.
tool in the world, but if it's the wrong tool, ain't gonna
Hey, you know
take
what?
off your tire lug nuts.
You know what? KyoAni, they will be fine.
They
They
They'll
will
be
be
fine.
fine. You know what?
They have Hyoka season 2 coming out, don't they?
Hyoka?
No, I'm kidding.
No.
No.
I
No,
wish.
they do have more Sound Euphonium, which is
They do have more sound euphonium.
Oh,
and
I can't
hopefully
wait.
a Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid season 3.
Yeah. Also one of my favorite movies of all time in silent voice. Let's move on with Studio. Geez, Ufotable running the gambit.
1,
Here we
2,
go.
3,
Ufotable.
4, 5, 6. We're halfway through, guys. We're halfway through.
We're halfway
Mhm.
through. We're
Mhm.
halfway through.
Mhm.
We'll be okay. No. Okay, stop. That's like not Ufotable. No, there's other options.
I wish that
Wheel.
our Wheel of Doom lets you only pick, like it could like remove them from the pot. Yeah.
Yeah, guess which one I just spun again?
Ufotable.
That's right.
I should just roll a dice, a 6.
Here we go.
Dice.
Here we go. I got one.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay.
I got one. Trigger.
Okay.
Studio Trigger. Ufotable versus Studio Trigger. Now, Mike, introduce us to Studio Trigger, please.
Studio Trigger. I know what you're thinking. They're too zany for SAO. They do they're too cartoony for SAO.
Mhm.
They are too off the wall for SAO.
Mhm.
You're probably right. But I will point you to other stuff that they have done that would fit. Like think of Darling in the Franxx style animation. That fits in my mind. I don't think that's too far off of the beaten path when we're talking like an SAO. I think that honestly Trigger could actually do an incredible job of this. Especially I'm curious to see that new show that they have coming out, the it's not Campfire Cooking, the other one, Delicious in the Dungeon or whatever it is, Dungeon Meshi.
Mhm.
I think that could actually talk you into this more once it comes out. But like think of Cyberpunk, how they took that.
That's what
and
I was
just,
going
like,
to say.
transformed it. Think of like the Gridman type stuff. Like they're diverse. They are able to take things and do something new and exciting and interesting with it. And
That's the thing I was going to say. You were mentioning like how zany they are. Like their last few shows haven't been like that zany, you know? Dynazenon,
Yeah.
Gridman,
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk Edge Runners, like they obviously know how to tone it down, and they're getting good at just using their style to tell like a serious story.
Yep.
And I mean, to be honest, Dynazenon and Gridman, unless you knew it was Studio Trigger, like those don't look like typical Studio Trigger shows.
Not what you think of. Yeah.
There's not many characters sliding in off screen, which is my favorite triggerism.
Yeah.
Yeah, my biggest argument for these would be those two, Gridman and Dynazenon. They've got decent action at different scales, obviously. That being said,
Ufotable.
Ufotable. I mean, they're on a whole other planet.
Yeah.
Like, again, I would be so interested in seeing all of these, like a remake from all of these different studios. Like a Trigger SAO. Imagine like a Gun Gale Online done by Trigger.
I think honestly, like if they were doing
would
the
be
Gun
hype.
Gale, if they were doing the Gun Gale Online spinoff, then like
Actually,
I'd be
they-
like
they
that
might-
would be interesting.
that would actually be like great. If they did I could see them. I'd love to see them do a spin-off, but remaking the
Mhm.
first season is maybe
Yeah.
not it, Chief.
Probably not for
Again,
them.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just not the fit.
Yeah.
It just ain't it.
Mhm.
It ain't it, Chief, as Mike
all of
so
these
eloquently put it.
studios have their what they're good at, and I think maybe SAO would not be very good for Trigger.
Yeah.
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 Unfortunately, I'm sorry. My BB.
Well, they'll be okay.
They'll be okay. They'll be okay.
Yeah, they'll be.
They
fine.
have BNA season 2.
I like BNA.
BNA is good, man.
Of course you would, Cole.
Oh wait, no, sorry. They have Space Patrol Luluco season 2 coming out.
Do they? No, they
No.
shut up.
No, I
You're
just
a
tease
liar.
Cole.
Yeah, that's not cool. Production IG.
I've only been saying studio or shows that do not have a season 2.
Production IG.
Production
Okay,
IG
go off,
versus.
Cole. Oh, this isn't even.
No, it was
Cole.
Jay's.
No, this was my nomination.
Versus
But-
Bones.
B tier studio according to Jay, but A tier for SAO.
So, here's the thing. Production IG has done a lot of really cool stuff like Guilty Crown. Like Guilty Crown as a show, 10 out of 10, right?
Naturally.
Obviously.
Certified, right? But like if you look at like the direction, the fights and the things and like the fight choreography and everything looks pretty decent. Like I like a lot of the fight choreography and everything, and for action, I think it would fit. I think it would be pretty cool. And
Production IG would do a good SAO.
Yeah,
They
I
would
think it would
do
do
it. I could see it being more in like the style of like a Psycho Pass, where it's kind of very serious.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would take kind of the fun out of SAO and make
Well,
it a
I
very
don't
more
know.
a serious show. I could see, but
I
they
don't
also
know.
do. I'm not saying they don't have the option to do a fun show, but I just think that I could feel that's where they're going to go with it.
Like they're not writing it, right?
Yeah.
They're just
It's just they're
like
adapting
they did Attack on Titan Junior High.
Yeah, they also do like Awashi and Haikyuu and stuff, but I could see
Yeah.
that. I just when you say, oh, Production IG is doing the next season of SAO, I picture it more in line with like the Ghost in the Shells, the Psycho Pass, the Legend of the Galactic Heroes. I think that's the route they go with it.
I don't know. Like, oh man, they're so good. They did Heavenly Delusion recently.
They did do Heavenly Delusion.
Oh goodness, yeah.
Psycho Pass, obviously. I love Psycho Pass. They
Heavenly
did...
Delusion is an interesting one to bring up actually, because like that's their most recent work, sort of.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I think that'd be a cool way to handle it, is kind of like that. That's what I'm talking about. They do it in more like realistic, kind of serious way,
Mm-hmm.
but there would still be like it's anime.
Yeah,
right? There's
it
always
would
gonna be
still-
some zany stuff and comedy,
it's
but-
still SAO at the end of the day.
yeah. And
Yeah.
what are they going up against? You never actually said. I don't think, Cole.
Studio
Is it
I
Bones.
did.
Bones?
Studio
Bones.
Bones.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not done yet. I mean, they did Gargantia on the Virtuous Planet, which I mean, kind of an underappreciated kind of hidden gem there a little bit. I mean, obviously the Ghost in the Shell standalone complex was great. They've been around since 1987. They've got the
Mhm.
pedigree. They all, I wouldn't say always do good, but they're consistently a legacy studio who's done a good job.
The legacy studios are legacy studios for a reason, right? And like even just like when I'm scrolling through their list here, and man, do they do like a lot. Like you got all the sports. They honestly do like most of the sports anime is one thing I'm kind of learning here. I never actually put that together, but yeah, they have the staff, they have the talent, they have the pedigree for all this. It'd be great. I don't know what's going on with Jay.
Yeah, Jay, you were just about to tell us about Bones. And
Studio
why
Bones, yeah.
Yeah, why Studio Bones? Why do you think Studio Bones would be good at this?
So, I mean, I still think that they have good action sakuga, and I think that, like, Bones I think would probably be less serious at how they tackle it than Production IG, which
they
maybe.
tend to be, yeah. I could see that.
which I think, like, it's kind of that, like, which would you rather have? A studio that, like, does something different and, like, you're supposed to take it seriously, or, like, a studio that, like, knows, at least to a different degree, that it's not supposed to be taken seriously, but,
Mhm.
like, they have the chops to kind of pull off the same animation style, and animation sakuga, but at the end of the day, I think like SAO kind of lends itself to that like not take itself seriously, just kind of like
hold on. Okay, I was gonna let this pass, but if the vote's gonna be taken based on like who who's going to do this less seriously. I really want to push back on this idea that Production IG will take it too seriously. Like I
don't know if
they did Psychopaths, but like they've also done like Fooly Cooly.
Oh, they could definitely go any direction. That was just the way I could see it going, I think. If I was to pick a reason why they would do something different than, say, White Fox, I think that's because that's how they do it. They make it.
I think way. Like if it were to be by Production IG, the way I see it is like the people that hire is like a team very similar to Guilty Crown. Kind of.
Yeah,
where
actually,
like,
you know what, Jay? Yeah, I agree with you.
So it would probably
super high
be
production
super
value.
high production value, great action direction and choreography, but like taken way too seriously in a story that's not really written for that.
Well, I disagree.
Whereas I think Bones, I mean, yeah, that's fair. I think Bones would probably, I don't know, like.
Both these are great studios, so we do. They are a
great studio. I'm just trying to think of like which team from a show that Bones did would they take from.
Like I see Production IG using a team more similar to Heavenly Delusion than Guilty Crown.
But even Heavenly Delusion's pretty serious, right?
Yes and no. I mean, there's lots of like jokes in it.
Well, no, it's a serious show with jokes in it, I would say.
Yeah. Well, it's not like SAO doesn't take itself seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we know it's a joke, but the show itself takes itself seriously.
No, it definitely does.
Yeah.
I just think like if it took itself too seriously and relied a lot more on the writing than anything else, it might fall a little flat.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Whereas like if it relied more on its direction and all that, maybe it would be a little more entertaining. And honestly, like just talking through that, I feel like Production IG, because it would be more like Guilty Crown, would probably make it more interesting because of how it's.
Jay has been waffling back and forth for so long.
Yeah,
Cole vote, and then I'll vote. Then Jay will decide.
Both my I think they're both mine. So
they are both yours. I'm going Production IG.
Okay.
At least an A-tier studio. This is insane.
I'm going with Bones. I want to see that Bones Sakuga with SAO. I think I appreciate their more silly, I think it'd be more of an interesting take on SAO. Jay, you have to break the tie.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Expediently, quickly.
Yes. So I think that like Production IG definitely would have that like well-directed, well-produced thing. At the same time, though, I think that Bones Sakuga would probably be a bit more fun to watch, a bit more over the top. And I don't know. I think that's
kind of how I come down to, actually.
I think that like if I were to watch that Kirito fight with Heathcliff by Studio Bones, that like it would be pretty insane. Maybe the direction's not as like crazy, but it would still be well animated.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Production IG would have better direction, but maybe not as strong animation.
That's in keeping with them. Like they do really well animated stuff, but Cole, you have to put your fanboy stuff down.
Cole,
let's
Cole,
move on to the
no,
next
it's
one.
okay. It's okay. Production IG will be fine.
I'm not saying their animation's bad. I'm saying that their animation's probably not as good as their direction.
Cole's freaking out. Please, let's move on. We have 4.
Mike, we're okay. We're at 50 minutes.
I know.
That's fine. We're okay.
But I want to talk about other stuff than just saying the same thing.
Ufotable?
Okay.
The one moving on.
Versus Bones.
Ooh.
Okay.
Because I kind of see Bones as like a pretty strong candidate here for them for this remake. Jay, obviously, Ufotable is always a strong candidate for an action anime.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to convince me here.
Convince you for Ufotable?
Bones. Oh yeah, they're both yours.
Yeah, they are both
Jay's
mine.
running the gauntlet here.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think that like anything Bones could do Ufotable would fit SAO so much more. Like it would introduce the world of Aincrad in a much more cinematic and magical way, and make it look like this like fantastical world that you'd want to live in.
Yeah.
And then like you get to the fights, and like you're watching these fights and you're just going, how the hell is a team doing this? What is going on? Where is this budget? And the budget with Ufotable is like over the top because it's freaking SAO.
Unlimited budget works, right?
Yeah, and I mean it's
Plus
also
SAO.
like, and I'll get into that in another time because I hear the arguments. But it's also SAO, and SAO is a huge property, so they're putting as much as they possibly can into it.
Right.
They do with pretty much everything.
Yeah. So like Wild Bones, I think would be a pretty solid series for an adaptation. Just like anything Bones could do, SAO would just kind of one up.
Anything Bones would do, Ufotable would one up.
Ufotable would one up, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to the style a little bit. Like, I think if you want your SAO to be more anime-y, you go Bones. If you want it to be more
cinematic
and movie-y and a little less anime style, then you go with Ufotable.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of it's kind of almost video game style the way they do their anime, right?
And I think SAO kind of lends itself to that cinematic style.
Yeah,
I kind of agree, and I think SAO at its heart needs something hyper polished.
Yeah,
you want something like pretty and bombastic to look at, and the plot doesn't matter as much. Kind of like what Jay's whole thing with Demon Slayer is. It's beautiful to look at. The plot's maybe iffy, but yeah, that's basically SAO in a nutshell, right? I can't. They're hard to beat for this, man. This is.
Yeah,
they might be the one. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going Ufotable.
I'm gonna go Ufotable too. Sorry, Bones. I think you'd do a good job. And honestly, Ufotable probably is not taking this anyway. But
really,
I don't know. They're pretty picky. They just I don't know.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you meant like this contest.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean they're probably not.
I don't know, because like it's also one that Aniplex like is under that Aniplex umbrella. So like I could see it being kind of.
We got our newcomer here, boys.
Oh, okay. I've been waiting for Cole's other feelings to get hurt.
It's Studio Orange versus Wit.
Ooh, they got the better straw of two daggers.
I don't know. So, like, honestly, don't sleep on Studio Orange. Like, think of the action scenes in Trigun Stampede. Like the choreography, it's stuff that only can be done on CGI.
In CG, yeah.
And again, I feel like that CG aesthetic lends itself well to this world that is supposed to be a video game.
I can see where you're coming from, Cole. For sure.
I know.
You know what? Actually, you know what? Let him cook a little bit, because I actually I'm kind of starting to hear what Cole's spitting. As soon as he said Trigun, it just kind of threw some like images in my mind of just like
think of that first episode of Trigun where he's having that like gunfight and he's trying to like catch a bullet to shoot out these like rockets coming down, falling from the sky. Like it's the camera. Yeah. The camera does things that only Studio Orange does that Ufotable doesn't even do, because Ufotable still tries to look 2D, where Studio Orange isn't really tied down to that. They do CG anime, and they do CG anime well. Nobody really complains about Studio Orange unless they're like actual like CG haters and they just don't like the fact that they do non-traditional animation. Ufotable, they're still stuck to having to deal with 2D character models.
Wait, this is versus Wit, right?
Yeah, this is versus Wit. Yeah.
Right. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah. Studio Wit. I love Studio Wit. They do incredible things too. But Studio Orange does things that only Studio Orange can do. If you want something completely unique and just incredible, like visually, their art direction is great as well. They've obviously done anime from urban settings with what's the animal one?
Beastars.
Beastars.
They've done kind of fantasy like grassland settings with Land of the Lustrous. They've done desert settings with Trigun Stampede. They've done water settings as well. Like they run the gambit on different settings as well, which again lends itself well to Aincrad being this massive game with a bunch of different terrains and stuff like that. I think Studio Orange would do just a terrific job
now
at SAO.
I agree with you. I think they'd do a cool take on SAO.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I almost like when I think of them, I don't think of action. And I think I need to change that perspective of mine, because I think that they've shown that they can do action.
Oh, I mean, even sorry, I don't mean to, I'm gushing. Like think of that scene where Daya is running in Land of the Lustrous. Like it's not an action scene. She's just running. But the way they move the camera around
you get
and
so
the
much,
character.
Yeah.
Like it's incredible. They're incredible. Studio Orange is amazing.
The problem, I think Jay might also agree with me on this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they don't do anime like SAO though. You mentioned that they've like touched on like similar stuff. But they haven't done like a fantasy. They haven't really done an isekai. They have, and like really
because they haven't done
of,
much.
I think the thing, and Cole, I think that this is going to sound a bit too uppity, but like I think stuff like SAO is kind of beneath them. If that makes sense, like
okay, but we can't argue from that side. I mean,
no, but like what I'm trying to say is like I think that a lot of what makes like the stuff that Orange does work is like it's not just great camera angles or like great CG animation, but like it has a good or decent story to lend to that stuff to like make it possible to be elevated by that. Whereas like I don't think SAO, if it were done in that kind of style, I don't think it would necessarily be like elevated by it, but rather like just kind of like Orange is kind of doing its own thing with whatever it's trying to do, and then like the original story is trying to keep up, if that makes sense.
If I had to argue for them though in this case, like if I would have said to you at the start of the year, Trigun Stampede or Trigun's coming out and we're having this tournament to determine which studio is going to remake Trigun, Studio Orange wouldn't have won.
Mm-hmm. Listen,
Either,
they've
right?
always been the
But
underdog.
they knocked it out of the park, right?
I mean, they came out with Land of the Lustrous, a 100% CG anime, and that is the one everybody says is.
I think
gorgeous.
Land of the Lustrous kind of lends itself to that CG aesthetic.
I think,
right, but I'm saying like before that came out, people complained about CG anime, right? And then they're like, oh, well, I mean, actually, yeah, it works because it's Land of the Lustrous.
Same with Beastars. Like I think that
and then
lends itself. I think that lends itself to that same style because of how unique. What's her name? Paro Itagaki, I think her name is. Her art. I think like her art's so unique that it lends itself to that kind of
right.
I see where Jay's going
uncanny,
with this.
Right,
I agree
but
with
we can say that about Trigun now too, right? It lends itself well because it's an action heavy show. Like obviously, Studio Orange does well with that,
right? But like SAO,
but people didn't say that before. Like what my argument at this point is, people have always said that Studio Orange isn't the right studio for it, and then they come back and they prove us wrong every time. They come in
3 times.
Hey, that's 100%.
Wow, you're not talking about Idolish 7 or Norn 9 or all these other shows that they did.
Yeah, those were shows that were like they were co-producers on and they were doing CGI specifically.
Whereas I'm gonna have to go with Wit on this one, just because like I could just picture it better in my mind. I like what they do better, and I think their style fits SAO better. Like I know you love Orange, I know you love what they do, and I think they do a cool take on it. But I just think when I think of SAO, I think it's honestly like the wit style fits it better for me than
Mhm.
Orange's style.
Mhm.
It just that's kind of where I'm sitting with this.
Well,
yeah,
here's my last argument to try to convince you guys, and if this doesn't work, then I'll concede. We're remaking this show. Why are we remaking it? To do the same thing over again? Or are we wanting to do something different? If we want to do something different, then Studio Orange is the way to go. If we want a show that looks like SAO, then yeah, Wit is a great studio. I love Wit.
Mm-hmm. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. Here's the thing. Like, I think of something like Spice and Wolf, right? Like,
Mhm.
Spice and Wolf got a remake. Are you looking
Yeah.
at the Spice and Wolf remake and going like, why isn't Studio Orange doing this? The thing that is like, if that remake looks
Don't put those two words in the same
exactly
sentence.
the
Cole
same.
will explode.
Well, no, Jay, this is a fantasy thing. Like we're
right, but like
Yeah.
the
No,
option
wait.
is Wit and Orange. Of course, I'm gonna go Orange if like it was between
yeah,
any studio and Orange.
In my mind, we're remaking it because it needs a remake. Like it's been a
Mhm.
while, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. It needs
Yeah.
an updating, and I don't know if it's necessarily because the old one's dated or not. But I think it's more which one do we think would do a good job with it, and I would, if I saw the two tweets or the two X's or whatever the hell they're called now,
posts.
posts,
Whatever.
whatever, I'd be way more excited to see it was done by Wit than I would be seeing it's done by Orange. Orange,
Well,
like we said with Shaq,
I don't know.
you get that.
I have no other arguments. I can't.
That's okay. You don't
I think-
have to win
like,
everyone.
Here's the thing. I think like if I were to look at the tweet by Orange, I'd kind of be like, I don't know, but
It's interesting. It make you think. It
Like,
make you go,
it would make
Yeah,
me go,
I mean-
but like I'd be like, you really need to turn me around.
Yeah,
And like
I
maybe
mean,
they could. I don't know. But like from my perspective, it just like it would feel strange. Whereas if I saw something by you by Wit, I'd be like, yeah, this makes sense. This makes sense.
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, yeah. Okay. Fine.
They'll be okay, Cole. Studio
They'll be
Orange will
okay.
I mean, yeah, they'll be fine. They'll keep
they
releasing.
got Land of the
bangers.
Lesser season 2 coming out.
I wish.
Well, they're
Why am I
working
even
on
spinning
something.
the wheel. It's Ufotable
Yeah,
versus Wit.
We knew
do
this
we
is
even
the final.
Yeah.
do we even need to argue about this one? I mean,
I don't know, man. I think both of these honestly have a fair chance here. I know Ufotable is like, yeah, honestly, Ufotable's gonna win this. Yeah. I'm trying to come up with a way to like argue against it, but I mean,
I
you
was
put-
trying. I mean,
you put
with
the two tweets out there and people
yeah,
are going crazy.
I wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Ufotable and Wit. I mean, both
Ufo-
great studios. Obviously,
Jay pulled out a cheater card here by putting Ufotable in the studios.
Yeah, I think this was before Jay told us what we were doing as well. He's just like
The
Ufotable.
Ufotable, yeah,
And
Yeah.
next week I'll tell you guys what we're doing.
yeah. I
And
wouldn't put
we
it past him.
nominated
He is-
like
he is cunning, that Jay.
yes.
No, I told you
Uh,
like after we did our first nomination.
I don't
think it was-
know. I think
it
he
was
just
like
told
week
us like
3.
this.
I
like
don't know.
This.
Okay, you can spin
Cole-
whatever
we heard it
story
at the
you
same
want.
time as the winners.
Cole hacked the wheel earlier, and now I think Jay's hacked the game. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. In all seriousness, I think Ufotable's probably the winner here. Like Wit would do a great job, but in terms of like they would both do the same. It's just
Mhm.
Ufotable. Wit's here, Ufotable's like up here.
Yeah.
Both do great jobs at their things, but Ufotable always seems to be able to wring out every
Yeah.
ounce of
I think the thing
magic.
with Ufotable though, like I'll see people recommend Ufotable on like they're like, oh, I wish Ufotable did this anime.
Mhm.
Like I wish. I don't think Ufotable is the instant hit the button. That's the answer for the best studio for every anime. I don't think that's true. Obviously,
Yeah.
No,
like-
I don't think so either.
picture Ancient Mage's Bride by Ufotable. Picture Attack on Titan
Be
by
amazing.
Ufotable.
Be amazing.
I don't know that it would be. I don't know if you want to
Attack
go
on
down
Titan.
that route.
I don't know if Attack on Titan would necessarily fit.
Right? It doesn't quite fit everything as people sometimes
but I
think it
think
does.
that argument can be said for everything. Like I don't think everything would work under the MAPPA umbrella, or like everything
Absolutely
would work
not.
under the
Yeah.
under the KyoAni umbrella, as we've discussed, or like
It's about the fit.
under
Yeah.
Trigger.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that these studios don't put out good things. It's just like everyone has their own wheelhouse.
And when it comes to their wheelhouse, I think Ufotable's wheelhouse includes SAO remake. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I think we should send them the email.
Yeah,
I think we should send
give them the
email
contract.
to-
Give them send the contract.
Yeah.
for
Okay,
finalization.
Ufotable. Congratulations, you have won our very intense, rigorous selection process. You will be remaking Sword Art Online, and the tweet will go out shortly.
Yes.
Is it called a tweet?
Yeah, why not?
Post?
Why not? It's called
Thank you
a
for
tweet.
listening to another episode of the Anime Protagonist podcast. You can go to our website. Everything is on there, AniProPod.com. Please leave a like, review, subscribe, give us 5 stars. No matter where you're listening to us, just help out the pod by giving us reviews and whatnot. Tell a friend about us too. If you think that a friend will enjoy an anime podcast, we think we're just dandy and
Real
okay.
Quick, before we go,
Yeah.
do we have a topic for our next tournament?
No,
No,
because it's
We
my
usually-
turn to nominate, and
we'll have it for next episode.
I have something cooking, but the brew just ain't done yet. So
Okay.
We'll
Stay
have it
tuned.
for next episode.
Yeah.
Join our Discord as well. Of course, we got watch parties, games. We did. What was that game that we played where the
Among
killer
Us?
goes and Among Us? Fun time. Good.
that was a lot
good.
of fun. Thank you for hosting that, Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah, come over there. It's lots of fun. Links to that, of course, is in the description as well. Of course, if you really enjoy this episode, you can support us on Patreon. You get an early bonus episode. You get an early episode every week as well at Extra Vote in our
my God.
in our listener polls, special chat in the Discord, priority mailbags, and you also get your name listed here at this point in the episode where I list the names: Mr. Family Guy 36, Elijah Wood, Brain Dead B-Dog, Super Mexi, Peach, Frama, Kratost, and Just Juzz. Thank you all for supporting the Anime
Thank you.
Protagonist podcast. It really means a lot.
That is the strangest heart I've ever seen, Jay.
I wasn't even looking at it. I'll have to catch it on the next one. Yeah, I think that's about it. Again, links in the description for Movember. You see our mustaches and, of course, Tokyo Treat as well. Links in the description. Use code AniPro for $5 off your first order. That's it for this week. We'll be back next week. But until we come back next week, Jay, what do we say?
What do we say? That is a very good question. We say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Nicely done, Cole.
Bye bye.